I'm going to play gatekeeper because I feel like as long as I play gatekeeper, now she's probably going to consider me because she's going to eventually see my worth or my value. Do you see any value in what I'm saying, or what are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I feel what you said is actually true. Yeah, have I experienced it? Yes, I have. I have experienced that. But at the same time, I feel like everybody's growing up. Like, everybody's getting older day by day. So, as you get older, your kind of mentality changes, or your thoughts about things, the way you reason things changes. Um, I would say, it, yeah, it was a decision I made, like, to keep more of male friends because of the experience I've had with female friends. Like I told you, I had to choose the kind of female friends I had because most of them that came around wasn't like suitable for me. So I had to make a decision. Okay, I have to let some people go. So bringing in the male friends, yeah, I felt like much more safe because most of the friends I had, like, if something was wrong, they would tell you, I don't like this. Like, but I noticed when I was with more girls, like female friends, they wouldn't tell you the truth. Like, they wouldn't tell you, I don't like this, I don't like that. They just hide in their shells, or maybe even try to talk down on you at your back and all that. So I felt I
Mhm.
didn't want those drama. So that was why I chose that safe place. Have I experienced what you said? Yes, I have. And I've learned from it, and I've tried to correct, try to create boundaries and all that. So yeah.
Okay. So what I would then ask you is this: then is if what kind of relation? So I guess let's talk about your ideal guy, right? What does your ideal guy look like? What can you describe him, and let's see how this ideal guy fits in your with
Okay.
your friends. So
Okay.
what's your ideal guy? Give me an idea what your ideal guy looks like.
Technically, um I'm not all about the looks. Yeah.
Okay.
That's number
I
one.
mean
So
traits. I could take maybe five traits. Give me five things that you want the guy to look, you want the guy to have. So it could be looks, it could be financial, it could be mental, whatever. What are those five things that you expect in a man?
yeah, I like guys who are like spiritual, like
Okay,
more.
spiritual first.
Yeah, I love guys who are hardworking. Yeah, I don't like
Okay.
lazy guys. I'm a very hardworking person. So yeah, I feel someone that matches with my energy. So I love hardworking guys. I like guys who are humble. I don't like proud people. Even if you have money, just stay humble. I mean, you don't actually need to show it to the world. That I love low key kind of guys. Seriously, I love people who are very like kind of reserved, low key person, but actually also fun to be with. Not like an introvert, but someone who knows when to move in, and someone who knows when to move out. So that's like my kind of
What do you
guy.
mean by move in and move out?
Like, he knows when to be introvert, and when some guys are like extroverts. Let's go and party. Let's go and all those kind of. Life is
Okay.
not all about partying. So someone that understands this is when to move out, this is when to be extrovert, this is when to be introvert.
Okay,
You
I
don't
get you.
actually need to be introvert all through. I love guys that are extrovert, but at the same time you try to balance the whole equation and all that. Yeah, that's literally. I love traditional guys. Yeah, guys who are
So,
like.
so let me ask you this: if a man in the U.S. had any interest, men in the United States tend to not be very traditional or cultural. Would you say you wouldn't have any interest in dating a person from the United States, or if you weren't okay with that, do you think your family would be okay or accept I think we lost you. Do you think your
Yeah.
family would be okay, or do you think your family would accept a person who is non-cultural or non-Nigerian, if you will? Maybe even a Nigerian that is in the U.S. or an American, full American person.
So like for me,
Hmm.
I'm not all about the culture, but like I'm not all about the you must marry from this culture, you must get married to this particular ethnic group or this particular culture. I feel people are good in their own way. Yeah, some parents might tell you you must marry someone from our culture, but I love to dive. In as much as I love my culture, I love to diversify too. I love to meet new people. So um it wouldn't be a problem if someone from not my culture but someone that can adapt a little to my culture. I'm not telling the person you have to come and dress like me, do like me, talk like no, no, no. Someone who can actually, you know, I blend in with me. And I'm someone that loves I'm someone that loves to learn people's. Assuming I did art, I would have done history because I love culture a lot. So I love to explore other people's culture. So bringing in another person's culture is not a problem for me. So I'm cool with that actually.
So let's go back. Let's go back to our conversation. As a traditional person and as a Christian, we would agree that the Bible says that a man and a woman shall leave their family and become one, right? And shall leave. I mean, that's me paraphrasing. But really, at the end of the day, the Bible also says that wives submit to their husbands. So if you, as the wife, is based on the Christian religion, is to submit to your husband, how do you expect your husband to adapt to your culture? Wouldn't you be the one that has to actually adapt to his culture?
No, I I I I, I would adapt to his culture definitely. That's
Okay.
I would adapt, but I'll also love him to actually adapt to mine too because I feel maybe if we do it vice versa, it becomes easier for us to train our kids or grow our kids. They tend to learn because I know a lot of my friends that their mother came from this culture and their father came from this culture and they tend to learn just their mother's culture, leaving their father's own, or they learn their. So if we have this understanding of trying to learn each other's cultures, it becomes easier for us to bring up our kids. So yeah.
Okay. The only thing I would say, again, not to push back on this so much, but is one side has to be dominant, right? So if you are taking the approach of a traditional woman, which I think you have some traditional qualities, you do have the Christian quality, which is very helpful. You have the cultural quality, but there is some kind of modernism still that you might have to learn to break
Yeah.
to eventually get a fully traditional man. If not, what you might end up getting is a hybrid. And what I've noticed is two hybrids never make a successful relationship. Meaning, a person who has a hybrid mindset, and a person who also has, if two people have hybrid mindsets, mean one of them is traditional with their approach, and the other one is technically modern with the approach, meaning they want to pay everything 50-50. You work, I work. When it comes time to pay the bills, I give 50% of the bills, you give 50% of the bills. I mean, I see you smiling. I don't think you like that, right? So that's what's going on. A lot of women have this hybrid perception where they want to still get modern qualities, but or they want to get a traditional man who does the traditional things, but they have a modern approach to the way they think. So let me hear your thoughts because you're smiling. So I'm going to presume that you have a different perception as to when I said the 50-50 or pay bills 50-50. Is that something that you're opposed to, or would you expect your husband to pay all the bills?
No, growing up, my father never paid all the bills.
Okay.
It was like my mom did more of the groceries. My dad did more of the fees and the house rent.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel it's left for the couple. Like it's totally left for the couple. If you marry someone, if you get entangled or get married to someone that is understanding, and
Mm-hmm.
it becomes easier for you. Just that's I feel that's one of the things most of the marriages are missing. That understanding. Okay, let's do it this way. Because I know most of my friends that are like, I don't want to stress myself. I don't want to um, marry someone that I have to start,
Mm-hmm.
working or doing something with. I just love someone that will take care of me. I
Okay.
feel for me, I'm not someone that would want to even be a housewife. I would want to support in the best way I can.
Okay.
So I feel, yeah,
So
it should be something
who do you
peaceful.
think is going to raise the kids if you had to work? Because for example, in the U.S., that happens to a lot of families where you have mom and dad working, and the kids are going to daycare, or they're the teachers and everybody else, but the actual parents are the ones who are raising the kids. So who do you think raises the kids if you have to work? And then secondly, a piggyback on that question, how much of the housing responsibilities do you want to be responsible for if since you want to work?
Yeah, that it for me. It depends. All this is just planning. Proper
Mm-hmm.
planning makes it easier for you. If you know the kind of family that you want to have, if it's a family that okay, I want to be there for my kids, then the type of work that you have to do also matters, and family planning also too. The spacing, the time, the spacing, everything. So if you
I think your phone is on
okay,
mute. Go
sorry,
ahead.
sorry,
Sure.
if you get to know all those things, you get to talk with your partner. Just you guys should. What kind of family do you want? What kind of family? I feel all
So
this
let
stuff
me
is
ask
just
you this: what kind of family do you want? What's your family planning like? Right? Because that's where
for
I'm
me.
trying to understand it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for me, I would want to just have 2 kids. I'm okay with that.
Okay.
Why? Reasons is that I want to bond with my family more. Yes, having a lot of kids is no problem, but I feel that way. That is my type of planning. If I plan that way, maybe I get to spend more time with my kids.
You also
But maybe I
mentioned you
get to
want to
see
work.
them.
So you also mentioned you
Yeah,
want to work too. So how
yeah,
much of the housing expenses would you want to be because the groceries are probably 10% of the housing expense, right? I mean
yeah.
that's not going to cover much. So how much of the housing expenses do you want to be responsible for if you were to work?
It depends on my rent, on my salary, or my yeah. It depends on my salary majorly.
Let's assume
If I
you and your husband are both making $100,000 each a year, the same amount of money. What do you think would be
my
how do what
contribution
what
the
would you
same
want
amount
to
of money,
contribute? Yeah, you
the
guys are both
same.
making. He's making 100,000. He's making 100,000. How much of that would you want to put to it? And when the rent comes out, the rent is 3,000 a month. Two cars each is $1,000 a month, so that's $4,000 a month.
Yeah.
Miscellaneous expenses and groceries, everything, another $1,000 a month. So that's $5,000 a month every single month. How much of that would you want to be? Would you want to pay? You know exactly every month you guys have to pay 5 grand a month.
Yeah, I feel I could do two, then he could do three.
Oh, so you want him to pay more still, huh? That's what I
Definitely.
was trying to get
No,
to. I
not
was
that he
trying
will,
to get to that. You do
but
want him to
like
pay a little bit more. I
just a
mean, because
little
you guys are
bit,
making the same, so it doesn't matter. I mean, you could
but
if
just a
he
little bit.
wanted.
Like it doesn't actually have to be. everything. I would want to contribute. Like, I know a lot of guys that would be like, oh no, no, don't bring your, I'm okay, I could handle the bill. But rather than that, I would love to contribute, because I know how it feels like trying to work for a certain amount of money is stressful, and yeah, contributing will mean a lot for him. Like, it will ease off some kind of burdens when he knows, when you are okay, I have someone that is there for me. Then I feel, yeah, I still have to contribute no matter what.
I'm not
Even if he
against.
doesn't want to, I
No,
will.
I get that. Now I'll tell you this. So
Yeah.
I'm not against your approach, because your approach is a helpful approach, right? It's a support minded approach. So I'm going to give you credit for that. Typically, I'll be a little bit more harsh, but I can feel you're genuinely thinking outside the lines and saying, I want to help our relationship be a little bit smooth. But what I also want to put to you is, if that situation was to arise and you had a man who was of substance and of value, and he made 100,000, he made 100,000, he would rather that he didn't even have to work and make anything, because he would feel more as a man if he took on the entire responsibility of the provision himself, right? Because if he's able to provide, then he gets to check the box of one of his responsibilities to the relationship.
Yeah.
Now, my understanding is, when it comes to women and their relation, what they bring in or what they contribute is loyalty, support, and of course, the rearing of the children, like making sure the children grow up to carry on the legacy of both mom and dad. That's something the man does not have the ability or the responsibility to be a focus of. His presence should allow for her to be able to leverage that presence, but his presence does not require him actually physically raising the children.